Hey YouTube, it's your girl Baby Girl back with another video. Please ignore my face. I don't know what's going on. I've been breaking out. But I was supposed to post a video before this one explaining why I haven't been on YouTube, what we've been up to, me and my fiance. Me and my fiance moved into a house May 15th, I believe. And we were just settling in, getting things together and fixing things that needed to be fixed in the house. So our first major project was the water heater. Home warranty wasn't trying to pay for anything. They wanted us to come up with $1,400 out of pocket. Didn't have it. So we decided to fix it ourselves. We did that. We fixed our garage door because for some reason the guy who had fixed this house didn't put the door on right and did a half-assed job in the house. So we've been just correcting things as we go along. And then yesterday we fixed our front bathroom's toilet because it was leaking. So it's been a process moving in, getting settled and everything. I've started my own little business. I make t-shirts and handbags, put customized leggings and all that. So stay tuned for that. I want to do a video of me making something. I'll probably do that one later. But I wanted this video to be about communication in a relationship. A lot of people misconstrue things that their significant other says because they just don't know how to communicate, or they don't try to understand what their significant other is actually trying to say. So a lot of people think that, you know, a person voicing what's wrong or something they don't like is them just trying to put the blame on you, when it's actually not the case. The case is that person is telling you what's hurting them. That person is telling you what's not going good in the relationship, and they want to fix it. So they tell you. And a lot of people get defensive because they don't see that you're telling them that so that you can fix it. They just see that, oh, you're blaming it on me, so I must be the problem, blah, blah, blah. And it's not that. We individually need to learn how to communicate, and especially if you're in a relationship, you need to learn how to communicate also, because a lot of things can be turned the wrong way. A lot of things can be misconstrued, and a lot of things with bad communication can lead to a divorce in a marriage or a relationship ending, all because that person failed to understand where that other person was coming from, or the way you communicate comes off the wrong way. So it's viewed as, you know, you're just blaming me. You don't want to put no blame on yourself. This is not going to work. And relationships end, and they don't have to. There's different ways to communicate. A lot of people communicate differently, and you just have to learn your significant other's communication style, because nobody's going to communicate in the same way. A lot of people are not, they come from a place where communication was not there. Like, they could be in a family and that family was never good at communicating. My family is one of those families that's not very good at communicating with each other. So a lot of things get misconstrued, and a lot of things get heated, and there's arguments and fights and just things that don't need to happen. So what I'm trying to say is, sometimes you need to take a step back, dissect what that person is trying to tell you, and figure out a way where you guys can compromise, maybe, or figure out a way where you can communicate to where it's both working for both of you guys, so that it's not a big blowout and it's not okay, it's over, I'm done, all that, because a lot of relationships end for no reason. People give up very easily in a relationship, and it shouldn't be that way. I would never give up on my relationship. I'm going to communicate until I can't communicate anymore. And if that person still fails to if that person fails to understand where I'm coming from and try to help find a common ground where we can fix it, then that's when I will give up. But I will never give up on my relationship because something is hard or it's hard to communicate. Me and my fiance coming into this relationship, we were bad at communicating with each other. When we first became friends, we barely talked. We would go places and it would just be quiet. We wouldn't say anything to each other. And yeah, it was awkward, but we both didn't know each other that well. And we both didn't come from a place where communication was, good. So we didn't know how to communicate with each other. Then developing a relationship was even harder because one thing would go wrong and we're trying to figure out a way to fix it to where both of us are happy. And then, you know, one wouldn't communicate because they didn't want to hurt the other person's feelings, and vice versa. So our relationship has been a long journey. We have learned how to communicate with each other, and we're still learning and still, you know, on this journey of communication. Just the other day we had a fallout, and it could have been bad, but I'm just glad that we learned how to communicate with each other to where we could sit down and talk about the issue and figure out how to fix that issue without making one person feel like it's all their fault. And that's what we need to try to stray away from. Don't ever go into a relationship or something and think it's just one person's problem, because it takes two. It takes two to be in a relationship. So if something isn't working, it's pretty much something both of you guys are doing wrong. And both of you guys need to figure out what it is that you're doing wrong so that you can come together as one and fix the problem. But communication will never, ever, ever, ever be an issue in my relationship, because I tell my fiance we need to sit down and talk about certain things, because I don't want, you know, our relationship to end over something retarded, something dumb. I don't want to be like, we started this whole thing where we got a house so that we could start a family soon, and we're getting married, and all that would have been for nothing if we chose to just give up because our communication is off. Like, I'm going to fight for my relationship to the day I die, and I know he's going to fight for this relationship to the day he dies. And, you know, I'm glad that we're learning how to communicate with each other. I'm glad that we're learning ourselves, because we didn't know ourselves when we started talking to each other. So if you're in a relationship, if you're your family, you know, just sit down and find good ways on how to communicate with another person. And a lot of people have narcissistic people in their family, so it's hard to communicate with them. And I would say don't give up trying to communicate with that person. Don't give up that relationship, and don't just brush that relationship off, because at the end of the day, that person is your family. It may be your mother, your brother, your sister, your cousin, your aunt, whatever. Like, if the relationship doesn't have to be bad, don't let it get bad. Because a lot of people that are narcissists and they like to, you know, be something, you know, it's something that most people can't control, or most people don't notice because they're so used to that. But I would say don't give up that relationship with that person. Continue to, you know, fight for that relationship in a healthy way. Don't walk away. Don't make things worse by not talking about it. It's healthy for you to talk about it, even if that person isn't listening. It's healthy for you to talk about it. It's healthy for you to vent to somebody, and it's healthy for you to get your emotions out. And a lot of narcissistic people don't, you know, they don't like to be told that they're the problem. This is why this is happening and all that. So you just have to find a way to, you know, just be like, okay, well, if it's not your fault, then something's wrong, and see if that person can sit down and break down what's going on and fix it. And if it's their choice not to fix it, then you can go from there. But I wouldn't say just end that relationship with that person, your mom, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, or, you know, your significant other. And now, if you're dating a narcissistic person, I'm pretty sure that's hard, because I've dated narcissists. And, you know, sometimes it's healthy to end those relationships just because, you know, it's draining. It really is. It drains you mentally, physically, and all that. Like, sometimes it's not worth it. But I mean, if it's different if it's your mom or your brother, your sister, you know, because you only get one mom, you only get one dad. Your sisters and brothers is your blood, and you should always have their backs. So, you know, just find a way to communicate with that person, even if it's not you're used to telling them everything. You know, it's okay to hold back. It's okay to just keep some things to yourself now, because you know that that person is not good at fixing issues or wanting to fix issues, or they have that mindset of they're always right. Everything they say is right. Everything they do is right. And sometimes you just can't you can't change people. Some people are just set in their ways, and that's just how it is. And sometimes we have to deal with that, and it's okay. Just deal with it in a healthy way that's healthy for you, your mental health. Because mental health is important. I'm going to keep stressing that in all my videos. Mental health is so important. I went through a stage of depression the other day. And it wasn't depression to the point where I'm going to hurt myself or harm myself, because I'm stronger than my mental disability. And I will always, 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 fight my mental disability. I will never let something push me to the point where I'm actually harming myself, because I know I'm here for a reason. I know that there's people in my life that love me, that need me, and those are just things you have to remember, that people are in your life for a reason. You're here for a reason, and if you don't know that reason, sit down and find your purpose in life. That's all you gotta do. And one day I want to be a mom. I can't do that if I'm dead. So, it's always a constant battle if you have a mental disability, if you have anxiety, if you have depression, if you have schizophrenia. Every day is a battle for somebody. And narcissism is a disease, whether people want to look at it that way or not. Narcissistic people have diseases too. They just don't know it, and they don't know it as a disease because it's not recognized as a disease. So, we just have to take everything with a grain of salt sometimes, and just, deal with it in the best way that we can. And that's what I do. And that's what I hope for anybody else that's dealing with anyone with narcissistic behaviors, anybody with mental disabilities or whatever. But back to my key point, communication is key. And you cannot communicate without understanding. So if you're not there to understand, your communications are going to always be off. If you're not willing to understand where that person is coming from, your communication is going to be terrible. And everything is going to be a constant battle. Talking is a constant battle. And trying to figure out how to fix a problem is going to be a constant battle. Just communicate the best way that you can. If you don't know ways to communicate, look it up, research it. Find what works for you. And don't just be a yes man or yes woman or okay this and okay that. Or if someone's telling you that you're the problem, you do not have to just be like, oh, yeah, I understand. Yeah, I am the problem. You don't have to agree with everything just so that something can simmer down. Because in communication, you're going to have little arguments. You're going to have little, disagreements. You're in a relationship. You're not going to agree with that person all the time, 24/7. And you're not supposed to. That's not a healthy relationship if you're agreeing to everything that one person says. And I tell my fiance all the time, if you feel like I'm wrong, I need you to say that. And we'll figure out something from there. Because I know I'm not always right. And he knows he's not always right. That's just life. But please continue to communicate. Please learn a healthy way of communicating. And you'll see that communicating and finding a balance in your communication with someone else can fix a lot of issues in any kind of relationship. Don't let communication get too bad to where you just end in relationships with people that should matter in your life. Or don't let communication get too bad where your relationship ends when it really doesn't have to. Because why keep starting over? It's going to be the same process over and over again until you understand that it's not that person. It's just the way you're understanding or the way you're not understanding the other person. But that was just a quick video for today, YouTube. I just wanted to pop up, do a video. I haven't been on for a long time. This house thing has been a process, and we're actually happy. We have a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home. And, we've just been getting it together, trying to get everything situated so that we can get a little puppy. Because we really want a dog. And hopefully we hear from an adoption agency soon, because I'm trying to warm up to dogs. I have not always liked dogs. Like, I've always been terrified of dogs. And I've had dogs. So, I'm just trying to, get a companion, because dogs are really, really good pets. But I'm in the video right there, YouTube. And I'll be back with another video later. I'm going to probably be making a shirt or something. And I'll show you guys the process of how I get that process done. Or whatever. And I'll also be back with a video with my fiance about getting a home in a seller's market, because it's still a seller's market right now, and a lot of people don't understand the seller's market. They don't understand what that means, and they don't understand the risks involved in getting a house in a seller's market. So me and my fiance are going to answer a few questions that some people might have about getting a home right now in the seller's market, and how we got a home in a seller's market, and how hard it was for us. So we'll be back with that video, YouTube. Thank you for watching this video, and remember, always put yourself first. Always put your mental health first. Don't let something get too bad to where it's unfixable, especially with communication. But I'll be back with another video, YouTube. You probably see my fiance later on if he's feeling up enough to do our video that we were supposed to do. And yeah, if you like my video, please like, share, subscribe. Tell your friends, tell your family. If you know somebody that needs to listen to this video, play it for them. Or tell them to subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay blessed. I'm always praying for you guys.